just a second. So just went live on TikTok. Give me just one. Okay, let's see. We'll let people pile in, but we were kind of deeply looking at it. Um, a lot of variables, guys. You know that can happen today, so be careful. We were talking about it a lot in the pre-market just to give you a little something with it. This was the wedge I was identifying yesterday, so that played out pretty well. Not only well, but it retested damn near perfect. Um, there was some levels below that this can take us to, but I'm not opposed to a potential attempt to try to push back up one more time, but we just have to assume we're bearish until we're not. So one thing that I try to teach a lot is don't be tunnel vision. So I don't want to hold this here forever. Because guess what? There is a chance that we could just be parallel, right? Or close to parallel. We could almost drop a little more. I think it was like somewhere down here and still be parallel, right? Channeling. And so you don't want to have too much tunnel vision from within that. So I'm gonna take that off for now. I'm not too worried about this one for now, so we'll take that off. We're in a deep extension. Measured wise, it could go a little lower, but might get a little bounce. What I'm interested to see is a lot of times when we get uh, Asia and EU, both EUs, to sell, then US tries to come in and buy, at least on the beginning, right? They'll take profit before they reset their positions. So we can't ignore the fact that we're bearish until we're not. So, but you can see we have a little bit of a nice clustering here, like that. And so what I would really like to see, if we're gonna get any kind of bullish push reclaim from this, I want to see the exhaustion on this little push continue, a reclaim of this back into a box channel like that, and then I want to see a break there, and then that would give us some juice to push. But again, guys, anytime, especially if you're in here, follow me, whether TikTok or Google Meet. I'm always going to analyze all possibilities. I'm looking, if I'm in a deep fall, I'm looking at what do I need to continue, and I'm looking at what do I need to identify a bottom. Just because we're identifying a bottom doesn't necessarily I'm looking to always open a trade for that bottom, right? I just want to know. I don't want to get trapped, right? And trying to play that continuation. It's an interesting thing that's going on, and open is going to really tell us a lot, because from this push here we have a pull, sideways, pull, which this one obviously is greater than that one. Let's look at, I'm just kind of curious, we didn't look at this, but if I take that actual upper and lower and I line it up pretty close, but not as close as I was thinking it was. But so we have a pull with a pull, so we'll call it pretty close to kind of that second drop. If you were to layer it into a higher time frame, let's do maximum. That would be something like here, which would put a possible low around 660. Because then what I'm looking to do is a lot of people in the mentor know when we get this one, two, third drop, if we reclaim, depending where that goes, if we can reclaim this high, then that would flip us pretty good. But this is going to likely be that main cluster would have to clear on it. But yeah, how's it right now, guys? I mean, all time frames were clear, right? But yeah, um, yeah, and that's what I was looking at on the push here, as far as down, right? The pull. This one is pretty equal to that one. This one is less. So if it pushes up longer term, and if we happen to get above, 9 something, I just would not short that. When you take a deeper pull altogether, if you were to grab the fib or retracement, now we haven't really pushed enough that I would say to use it yet, but for that time frame. But if we can reclaim here, which would be 836, then that's going to take us to the 382 like that. But if US decides to take profit on these shorts and pull it up, anything that rejects around 838 would drop us back down, which lines up pretty close to these bottoms also. So there's a lot of variables today, guys. We were literally this morning. I mean, I had a little bit to do to set up and stuff, but my mind was going. I was thinking of a lot of things that I see, and so when you look at this structure wise, we'll come back out. It is interesting because a lot of times the market likes to, if it's going to be a structural drop for a deeper fall, it likes to mimic this side, and it's kind of doing it a little. You gotta, the push pull push pull push pull push pull expansion, although it's weaker, and then we're kind of in that lower pivot, which suggests we should at some point pull back up. And if it can't break the 50, because notice this high, if we take this high to the low of the pivot like that, we reject it exactly on the 50. So if we get an actual push, so let's say we retest like 531, 600 area. Look for that 50%. If it hits it and rejects, it's going to be a deeper drop. If we reclaim it, then we could get a push. Um, if you look at the higher time frames on candle progression, as of right now, we had deep expansion, a little absorption here, a doji here. So a close below 682 is going to likely try to retest that low of 532. If we can reclaim and close above 787, I would probably say like 800, 815. If we can close above that, then we'll retest the 50 there. So then you would take the high and that low, which would put that 50 pretty close to that neckline, actually. Remember we talked about that, guys, about the pivotal placement? It's crazy that 50 lines up almost perfect with these tops. So we'll see. We have to see how open treats this. See how it's like right in the middle between the top and the neckline. Unless that fascinates me. So we'll again, like always, we'll lean on Neo for his levels. Get the institutional context. He has been saying for the last, yesterday and before that, Sunday Asia, that the institutions were selling, and there they go. And that's the thing when you're talking to TradeVision or Neo, you always want to understand that just because he said institutions are buying or institutions are selling does not mean it's going to be right now. I mean, it could be, they're just shaving profits or selling some, or buying some, and then before they let it drop. So it doesn't mean it's going to always happen that day. But yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how if US comes in and dumps it right off the bat as well. We could be in for a pretty good fall today. I would definitely be careful on your any longs unless you're just taking quick scalps, but Yeah, we have nothing but red on the 1 hour. The 15 kind of gives a little cleaner look of what I was looking at, you know, where you got the drop like that. Wonder if, let's see. If we don't count here, that would be our 1, 2, 3. So a reclaim of here would be what will shoot us back to the top. Yeah. Okay. We'll look and see. What time we got? 9, 12. All right. Those that are just joining on TikTok, I usually just let people get set up, you know. So we're just kind of we're in a little bit of a hurry up and wait, you know, let people kind of get in and get all situated here. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna set up my stuff here. We'll talk to Neo. Again, usually about 7:15 is when I start the TA. We were already kind of knee deep in it, and my mind was just spinning because there's just so many variables that could go on today. So many variables, y'all. So we'll kind of go. Huh?
I was gonna say, you think on the 1 hour it'd be safe to wait for a pullback at the 50% line?
Well, I mean, it depends on your bias, right? So if you want to take mostly shorts, I don't know that you need the 1 hour to pull all the way back, but because even if you took that pivot, let's say we got a jump here, you could, that would be kind of 902 push pull, you know, but I mean, that's 200 points to wait. What I would say is, and we're going to watch, I will guide it out, but also we'll lean on Neo. If I want to take shorts, let's say, because clearly we're bearish, we are really overextended. Kind of curious to see. Yeah, we're
Okay.
still likely in the oversold territory. But what I will wait for is I was just kind of unmuting some stuff. What I would like to see if I wanted to go be short is I wanted to do things that would complement be short. So like this, you can see the pull. You take the top, take that kind of bottom of the pivot would be somewhere in here. But if you took the low, see how it's rejected, rejected, rejected. This is what you would want to see. You'd want to see the pull, push, sweep, pull, close, and then take your short scalp. I just want to keep seeing it do bearish things. I would just recommend, even if let's say we open up, it sweeps high and it dumps like this. If you catch the initial dump because of Neo's call of I would sweep the high and then dump it, then awesome, you know, get that trail. But if you miss it, you're gonna want to wait until you get some kind of push to like a 50 or a prior low with a doji close, and then take the continuation. Um, like I said, I always like to remind people because even though when I do this exercise in class back then, if I tell everybody, here's your downtrend, where would you enter? Here or here? Everybody is like, no brainer, I would do it here. Well, all this is a pull 50%, pull 50%, pull, right? That's all you're doing. If you want to trade on the trend, you just want to wait for that pull, fail, and then pop in. And it's good because you can heavily I go into with the mentor side of it, and we're still studying it. So if like let's say this is I forgot TikTok doesn't let me use my hotkeys. Let's say that's our 50 line from the pivot, pull, push, and you want to take a short. If I see this push up, hit it, doji, close below, and I take my short, that's fine, right? You got to pull 50%, confirm close, take your short. But if I'm basing a lot of my entry on that 50%, if I get a close above the 50%, especially if it closes, taps, closes, you're gonna have to kill it. All right, you're gonna have to take that and stop out from it, because your thesis of that is now dead. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, today is a day that is kind of dangerous to defensive play or ladder, because if you try to short here and fight it, uh, if we break certain levels, I mean, it could go up a lot. Um, Even in this extension, though, if you were to take a long, let's say it broke above and you took a long and it fails, if you take, we don't know yet which way is going to break, but if you take the theoretical targeting that I do, I mean that puts us pretty far, and there's a lot farther that it can go, because if you take my other chart here, we were looking at for some time these trends in here from the high time frame. And it is not out of character for us to pull even all the way down here and do a double tap, push, tap, fail to create, and hold the high, come back and retest this low. So it can go a lot lower, guys. But yeah, it can go a lot lower. So, but we'll see if how US reacts to this. I think that they're, with the meeting minutes coming out tomorrow, I think they're going to do some shakeouts. But we'll see. I mean, from TA's standpoint, it suggests that it can, but if yeah, if the news that's going to come out tomorrow is projected not to be good, then, or like someone, Bobby and some others were talking about the bond rate stuff, right? Like if that all becomes a big issue, right, then it's going to be very bearish. Historically, it's funny. Paul was showing me something we were looking through, and historically, uh, August likes to overreact. So we could see a pretty good drop. Because it likes to overreact, and then it tends to counter correct, which would be that deep pull to that trend line, and then a deeper push. So, but I'm gonna be on this side of my screen here. I am gonna have my screen look like that. So anybody who is following on TikTok that doesn't know, I'm gonna mostly have three things going on. One, you're gonna see these purple boxes. This is our trap and block one. It's stupid good. It's so I love, no matter what, I'll have this one on my chart regardless, because it's just really good. I will not long into it, and I will not short into it. More times than not, they play out. Not always, but more times than not. And so I definitely don't like to trade against it, that's for sure. Then we're going to have Neo. So if you're new to our company or what I do or we do, this is our website, nextstepalgo.com. This is Neo. This is TradeVision. He's going to be our guide, mentor, whatever we need him to be. So I'm going to refresh him a little bit. If you come into our website, you can try your own Neo. So if you like what you see when you're watching, if you haven't seen it before, you can do the 3-day free trial. If you have questions about Neo, I will do my best to answer them. Usually the first hour we're trading. And so if I can't answer it, just please be patient. So let me load them up here because we're at 9:20 already.
Hey Nick, I'm here and ready. Let's see if the market actually wants to do something today or if we're just here to watch paint dry. What's on the chart?
Paint, that's drying. No, just kidding. When I mark lines on here, I'm going to do them with blue lines. And so that is going to be our Neo lines. When you're listening to Neo through his guidance, just always remember in trading, what he says, how he says it doesn't matter. But the levels are the most important context that he's going to give us. So let's see. All right. We have US Open coming in like 10 minutes. I just wanted to update my lines. Can you give me the key level lines that I should be watching? So let's get our first round of lines here.
US Open is 10 minutes away. Plenty of time to get your lines straight before the market decides if it actually wants to trend or just chew us up. The real headache is the 29,717.50 to 29,726.75 bearish order block. That's the overhead ceiling buyers have to smash through if they want any real authority. Right now, price is pinned between the 29,704.75 trend line and the 29,708.50 active midpoint, while the 29,690.25 active low is the only thing holding the floor. If we lose that low, the downside is back on the menu. I'd suggest keeping your hands in your pockets until the opening volatility stops acting like it's had too much coffee.
Okay, so 690, basically just grabbing that low and high with the block. Okay, and then they had 704 and 708. I'm not going to mark those for now, but okay, so 690 is his low. If we do happen to break the 690, do we have any potential areas below us that we can mark on our chart? Morning, guys. Thanks for joining. We're getting going here. We got open coming up soon.
If we punch through the 29,690.25 floor, we aren't jumping off a cliff into total darkness, but the floor does get a little spongier. You'll need a clean breakdown and hold below 29,690.25. Don't chase if it just wicks and screams back up. If that breakdown holds, 29,687 is just going to be an annoying speed bump, so the first real target is that 29,654.00 measured move level. If we immediately reclaim and hold 690.25, consider the breakdown a bust and the short piece officially toasted.
Okay, so short below here, but I'm just going to put both the levels because they're pretty close. But we'll do 9.25. Okay, so the break below here and the hold here is what he's suspecting will go there. Got it. Okay. The high you gave me, the 29,726, anything above that. So if we break through that bearish order block, what would be kind of a target?
If price stops playing games and actually clears the top of that 29,717.50 to 29,726.75 bearish block, it might finally have some room to breathe. I wouldn't chase the breakout right at the edge. Wait for a 1-minute candle to accept and hold above 29,726.75 first. Once it sticks, 29,785.50 is your first meaningful target. If price slides back inside that block and fails to defend the top, that's your first warning that the breakout was just another retail trap.
Got it. And I know it's all speculation, but based on the structure and everything you're seeing, do you see us potentially having a range type open or a deep continuation or trap? What do you think? I haven't asked him that. I kind of want to see what he thinks on it.
The market is currently screaming, sell everything, with that buy fraction sitting at 16%, which is usually the perfect setup for a liquidity trap. If we sweep below the 29,687.50 low and then immediately reclaim the 29,694.75 order block, that is your classic trap long scenario. If we just nuke right through 29,687.50 without a second thought, that's your deep continuation. Expect the US Open to turn this chart into a blender, so don't be shocked if the first move is a total lie designed to shake out late shorts.
Ah, the first move's a total lie. Interesting.
He says to shake out late shorts. That means he's probably going to sweep south. We'll see what he says.
Well, no. Usually when he says the trap and if you think about that right, is the US Open to turn into a blender. Don't be shocked if the first move is a lie designed to shake out the shorts, which would be more up, right? To get them to break. And so, which falls in line with my I really don't AO. I don't know what AO is. All on. No. Yeah, and so my thesis again, like I was mentioning earlier, is usually when EU and Asia both sell, US opens with a push. But what he said here is interesting. There's two things that I like but don't like, because a lot of how he says stuff really matters. Uh, so he was saying don't expect if the first move is to shake out the late shorts. To Mike's point is, the push down would be more trap shorts, like get bait people into shorting, right? The shakeout is typically the inverse, the other way, because um, it wants to get people to close, right? That panic out. But let's see. Got it. With the U.S. Open here in about almost a minute away, a little over a minute. Where would you send price to wreck the most retail, knowing all that and all the data structure, everything you see from within? He's been a little conservative lately on these calls. I think I might know why, but let's see what he says today. Could be the structure, right? I want to see what he
Retail is
says.
currently lining up stops under that 29,675 low like they're begging to be hunted, and the market loves a good stop run for breakfast. The most efficient way to wreck the crowd is a quick nuke below 29,675 to trap the breakdown shorts, followed by an immediate
Quick
reclaim of the
nuke.
29,690
Not
zone.
sure I like that word.
If that reclaim confirms with a 1-minute close, the road to the 29,717.50 bearish order block opens up. If it just falls through 29,675 and never looks back, that's your deep continuation. But do yourself a favor and don't fall for the first 5 minutes of the US Open circus.
Interesting, right? He's a little more detailed today than he was yesterday, but 675, remember that, guys, is his line. He said, I've never had him say that before. If it falls below this and never looks back on the first move, that's your deep continuation. Meaning don't go long on that bottom. So unless you reclaim. And so the way I would interpret that would be if I get a pull and a reclaim of the 675, then the 1726 become targets on the reclaim. If we get a push through and we reject the 26, that would pull you back to that 675. Seems to be his kind of line in the sand. This 654 was an extended context target potential. Anything above 726 has a lot more room to go up. And so you want to be really careful on that. And so there's our sweep. So he got that right. I would sweep it through the 675. So if it pushes through here, that would be your quick long, which is there it goes. Oh, look at that. Guys, the volatility is nuts right now. Be careful. Look at that. We had a deep sweep and a massive push followed by a massive pull again. So 675 is that line in the sand he gave. Again, anything above that is likely going to try to get to that 727. Anything that gets back below and never looks back, right, would be the inverse. So so we're getting that push. This one was pretty cool. I'm actually I'm good. I'm happy with his read on this one.
One of these days, I'm gonna have a heart attack trading.
I know some of you guys like doing it. Hey, Alton, I know you snatched that up, but look at I always tell you guys. So I got that long as well. I waited. You have to be fast, guys. If you are newer, I do not expect you to get these, and I don't even want you to. For the most part, it's very very risky. Dying over here. It's very risky to do what we do with that. Where I'm kind of pausing because I'm still in this one about to hit TP because I had a TP right above. Okay, well, I hit my TP. I was gonna trail it, but I'll take the TP. I had a TP right below these blocks, but I did TP out, guys. But let's explore something real quick. Good job. You have to be fast, guys. And if you don't know what Neo's done damn near every day, you won't know how to interpret that. And that's why I do my best to try to interpret it for you. But I am proud of Neo today because if you guys have noticed, and some of you, Alton, Danger, Sir King, a bunch of guys that come in here every day. All you guys in the Google Meet, you already know. He was just so detailed like he was today, normally, where I would sweep the low and then push it back up. If we stay below that 675, it's going to set up a deep continuation. And so he has done that for so long, weeks. It was like 8, 9 weeks. But the last like few days, or we'll say like the last week, there's been some days he's a little less like, he's more coy. Like, I would kind of sweep this and then sweep that. Like it was very, very conservative plays. And where I was talking about in the beginning when I first started is as Neo's trading, I'm not adjusting, but I do adjust the user experience when I go in and do audits. From his he'll summarize like user experience, things like that. Look for improvements, because he self analyzes, so I'm able to communicate with him on that stuff. And even though I don't mess with the trading aspect of it, the user experience can change a little what that response gets back. And so for a little bit there, I was thinking I didn't want to touch it because things change right in the market, but I was like, man, maybe my last update kind of made him a little softer, not eager to take those chances. But I was kind of waiting. I was going to give him this week before I go in and change things, because you have to remember a few things. One, be careful on that 675. I'm hoping y'all stopped out. I'm out. This is why I take that move, hit the TP, trail it out, and I'm done. I'm not gonna push anymore after that. So, but when you look at it, you want to sorry, I was thinking of something. The with the AI, right? He's gonna self-analyze his stuff, and so I just wanted to let him. He's gonna have days where he's gonna be extra aggressive and days where he's not. No different than us when we trade. So I wanted to make sure that that's what it was, the latter. So this is a big move here, guys. Right? I'm watching. This is why I was a little distracted, because remember we swept, pushed. This swept again. It's got to stay below the 75 is what he was calling. And so I want to see if we respect that. So that's 75 that he called, and we're going to get some institutional context here in a second. See that push? I know Alton got back in the moment it reclaimed 675, didn't you? Didn't you, Alton? Calling you out. He's like, yep, trailing. Come on, say it. But this is a lot of what I like to do from the interpretation for you guys on Neo, right? So remember he said, what he says and how he says it really matters on that. Yeah, that's why I was looking at something, because I jumped in on it on the reclaim. It really matters. And so there's a few things that he said. Let's interpret. And I want you guys, if you've taken the trades, just please, I cannot tell you enough. If you want to become consistent as a trader, you have to become disciplined as a trader. You have to be willing to let it go. So I've taken 2 really good wins. One was the entry as we pushed back up through here, and so from there to there, I mean, it's like a 50-point win. And then on the pull here from there, and then we pushed back up, and I just had a TP just below that, so it's another 50-point win. So I'm up pretty good. I don't need to push anything else. So you guys, I always have a rule, and this is what I really press on my mentor group, that whenever you get a win or a good win, or you get 2 good wins, right, you want to always put yourself on what I call timeout, because otherwise you're chasing the reaction. There's two type of traders. I'll keep it that simple, though it's not that simple. Before I do that, watch this. So be careful here, because see this? That's around your 50. If we tap, push, close above here, it's going to create a deep expansion. And so, so this push on there, we'll see if we get to close. But The two type of traders are the ones that are reactive and the ones that are anticipatory. So, and there's not really, when you think of reactive trading, it's not necessarily always a bad thing if it's your style. So, a style that would use reactive style trading would be people who love momentum, right? They want to, if you're reactive because you already did your TA and I'm waiting for the momentum to kick in, you got to be ready. You got to be fast because the moment you see that pop in, you jump in and you're riding the momentum wave. I'm not a big fan of that style of trading because, as many of you have found out, if it goes bam, jumps, and then you hit buy now and it goes boom, TradeOvate or whatever broker you're on is so nice. They will literally give you the best fill of 782. Right? And then it drops. And so, any of that happened to you guys before where, isn't that awesome, Savvy? Less than 10 minutes done. Yeah, I'm done. I mean, I'm mostly can be done too, but we'll see. And see, we're getting the 50% hold expansion as well. But if you're reactive like that, it's dangerous because you're possibly going to get a really bad feel, right? And that's why I was going to say, is anybody else, out there has that happen where you do your TA, you're ready, and you're just like, okay, the moment I see any volume come in, I'm in, and then you hit buy at say 7:30, and then you're like, yes, I'm in. Wait, why am I negative? Because it filled you here, and then it pulled back, right? Most frustrating thing in trading. So that brings me to the other type of reactive, which is when it's kind of a reactive slash, I love using this term of shiny toy. I can sit here and go, man, this, you know what? This is bearish. I'm more short. I'm gonna stay more short. I'm gonna wait for pullbacks, and like you're building your entire plan, and then it goes boom, and you're like, oh, I'm in long. And then it does this, and now you're kicking and screaming yourself because you did an entire TA that we were going to go short, and one shiny little toy push here made you decide to take it against all your bias. It's also the other reason why I'm not a huge fan of buy sell signals, because buy sell signals are that shiny toy. I'll do all my bias, all my TA, all my stuff, and then buy signal, bearish, I'm bearish, here we go, we're gonna drop, oh man, this looks crazy, buy signal, I'm in. Like we just throw all our work out the window, right? And so the one thing I will share with you, all of you, as a little golden nugget I beat into the mentor program. If I didn't anticipate it, I will not take it. I don't care where it goes. This shit could have $1,000 candle and I'm cool with it. I'll just laugh like, man, that was cool. It just, I don't have any of that kind of FOMO anymore. So these trades that I took, where I said be careful if you're new or if you don't understand Neo and how he calls these things, and see what I was telling you guys, it playing out. I'm not in this. It just, like I said, my FOMO clears. But push, I say be careful. Absorption here is going to create expansion. So I don't know if some of you guys took the long, but I'm not. But you want to anticipate it. So in the morning, I love what Neo did here. There's a few things. Let's review Neo here. And I know you guys are all looking at the charts, probably ignoring me because you're out here, order filled, order filled, order filled, order filled. You know who you are. Where are you? No. Sorry, I'm just joking a little bit today. That's my favorite hot mic moment, guys, is guys, don't take any trades because we're gonna wait for this to order filled. Who did it? Who did it? Calling you out. So, but let's listen to Neo here. Let's interpret what he said. So if you look at it, his market open was right here. This was the market open call from that. No, this was the market open call. So what I was looking at is there was something he said. Notice where he said here, expect the first move, expect the US Open to turn this chart into a blender. Don't be shocked if the first move is a total lie. Right? So we had our first move here, swept, came back. Now we're going for higher highs, right? Feel total loss. So on point on that. When you come up here, he said something I'm trying to find that just stuck out to me. Where, oh, here it is. If we punch through 690 floor, we're not jumping off a cliff into darkness, but the floor does get a little spongier. Did anybody notice that? Isn't it wild? Like did you notice that, Ishmael? Yeah. And for those who don't know Neo, he's AI, right? And so just like if I were to talk to you, my words, my tone, my context of how I use things, like it matters. And it's the same with him. When he says things like spongier like that, like, hey, if we break this level, which should have been a level that would just dump us, things get a little spongier. Well, think about how that played out. We pushed, boom, jumped, pulled, boom, jumped. So pretty spot on. That's what I wanted to kind of replay back there. So for those who miss it, his morning opening call was I would hunt the stops below, right? And notice what he said, a quick nuke below 675. Boop. That's a quick nuke. So spot on. Followed by an immediate reclaim of the 690, which is there. Pretty immediate reclaim of the 690. And you can see if we can reclaim it, the first target would be 717. Now, he didn't give a very far target. For mine, I took it to the order block on there, but, it hit the target either way quickly on that. And so, again, don't just, if you're using Neo in a way that is like, just give me a level, give me a level, give me a level, or give me a setup, give me a setup, give me a setup, right? You're underusing him. So, because he knows so much more, and he's the way he is with AI, he's going to be able to help you. So, Benny, I'll tell you, that is what you just explained, is why I do not like to connect my brokerages to my trading view, because so, Benny had asked for anybody on TikTok if you guys are experiencing it. Is anybody else's trading view acting very slow when putting in closeout orders? And so keep in mind, guys, I was a technician for many years, and I was the repair person. And so I had to do a lot of troubleshooting, which I enjoyed. But anybody out there that's doing any kind of repair or maintenance, right? We all know the less pieces in the middle that can break are better. So if you can remove pieces, right, in between, that variable helps you, because what you're experiencing, Benny, we don't know, is it your trading view issue, is it the trade of eight issue, or is it the connection between the two that's the issue, right? Whereas for me, I chart here and then I trade here, with the trade of eight on the side here. And so that way I don't have any variables, right? If my trading view is lagging, it's my trading view. If my trade of eight is lagging, then my trade of eight, right? That's what I do. Always remove as many variables as you can. I know people love to do it here. It's easy, and that's fine, but you just got to know it might come with issues. So, but yeah, so awesome. I'm actually really happy with Neo's calls today. It makes me feel better too, because he was a little conservative the last couple times. But I want you guys to remember, there's a reason I love this project with Neo, because AI is a different beast. It's not an indicator. Indicators are going to treat the same environment the same. He is not going to do that. He's going to see the environment and adjust to it, which is what makes him so powerful. Right now we're just kind of shaking out, guys. You can see we're just consolidating within. So, we didn't quite get the 85. We did this yesterday, so I'm kind of curious if it does it. But this 675 is going to be big, because if it stays below, remember, like this, if we end up getting any kind of retest, then that, he said, would create a deeper bottom, or the continuation play. We didn't get this, and yesterday, remember, we kind of did the same, and then we eventually created a micro higher low, and then came back up and hit it. So I'm kind of curious if we do something similar to that. But we got to redo our lines anyways, because we have now institutional context. I think we've had enough time out, so let's see if can you give me an update on the institutional lines, where they have placed them? I'm going to clear all my lines out, so let's start with the institutional ones, and then you can give me any structure ones if you see them relevant. All right, so let's clear out the lines. I'm gonna do a little fresh lines here. But and guys on TikTok, even if you get done, stick around for a bit if you
All right,
can.
clearing the decks for you.
I'll tell
Don't
you in a
treat
second.
these like magic magnets that price is obligated to hit. They're just zones where the big players like to play dodgeball with your stop losses. Institutional reaction zones. Overhead resistance, 29,753.54 is your nearest pivot resistance area. If price keeps climbing, 30,002.14 is the major ceiling. Below price, support, retest, 29,692.52 is the nearest retest zone, followed by 29,592.52 and the 29,532.52 major floor. Structural context. The decision zone. You're currently lounging inside that 29,694.75 to 29,709.25 bearish order block, so expect it to be messy. Upside. 29,726.75 is the 5 minutes high you need to clear to prove buyers have a pulse. Downside. 29,680.75 is the 5 minutes low holding things up, with the 29,631.00 reaction low acting as the real basement. Keep it simple. If we're inside that bearish order block, treat it like a hazard zone, not a playground.
A lot of actually really good levels. I like it. Because I didn't change anything on his logic, so I like he's being more direct today. He was a little conservative there for a few days, but very interesting, guys. You know how I feel about that when he throws out a random ass level way up there. I know Alton's already in a 20 NQ long, holding it for days. No, don't do that. I'm just kidding. But he usually hits those levels. Let's see, 680. Dun dun dun. 5 minute low. Trying to look at that. I'm just looking at what he's calling these levels. So 631 is the reaction level, is the real basement, which looks like is kind of around this low. So we'll put that. So this is kind of your real basement. If we lose the 31, then we're going to the 532. If we break the 53, then he didn't give us really anything in between. So gives us a nice little spot. Yeah, Walter, have a good one, man. Good deal. Oh man. Oh, that's crazy, Benny. Yeah. But yeah, he was pretty direct today, so I like it. So we have our baseline here. So we know anything that holds 631's kind of his opening the door to the basement. When he says that, last time he said that, shit, we dropped like 200 points from that fall. So anything that pulls below here, that's 631 and taps rejecting, your first target's the 530. But when he says open the door to the basement, it's always interesting. Anything that is above 753 that holds, then all he really has is a target for up there. So I'm gonna overlay now some other stuff. So we have our trap and block, so we'll overlay that. I think I saw an update come through on it. Paul, did you update it? See what I mean? This is why definitely look forward to that. Let's reload it. So those that want to update it, the trap and block, you just have to reload it. And then go back to your invite and trap and block. We're making some adjustments, so those that of course Matt wants to give me the update thing because I logged out and in. Okay. Yeah, we're making some updates to it to kind of clean it up a little because it was getting a little extra with all the lines, although I love them all there. So let's tap them on. So this gives you basically a multi-time frame of the trap and block is what it does. And so we were kind of playing with the visuals. Let's see what Paul put together. Yeah, it's better. At least you can see the labels from within. What is this one? No. It's too big. It's gotta be the 5, maybe.
Move to the right. No. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's right there.
It's that one?
So you can made it so the labels, they
Yeah,
push to the right. You can adjust how far to the right you want them.
that works. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna play with this a little. Yeah, that big old block one is the 5. Interesting. Yeah, so we're just in a massive bearish block here, guys. Interesting, because you can see all the labels are above. And then the other one, and then we'll jump into Neo, guys. Look for a trade. I haven't even looked. How's the foundations one, guys, doing? I just pushed an update on it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything. Yeah, so we'll look at that as well. For now, just to help the visual, I'm gonna, until we kind of play with this, I'm gonna take off that one for now, just to get that block. Because these are all 1 minutes. Man, that's crazy. There's that many on the 1 minute. Let's see. Just looking at something, guys, and then we'll check in with Neo. It's not a great place to enter a trade. What we're waiting on is I want to see if this 31 floor holds. Anytime I'm multitasking, I'm always looking at the chart. So I'll tell you if I see something. Gotcha. So yeah, the one is that a lot of bearish blocks, guys, on that for sure. So let's look and see. I want to open it up. Let's meet the indicators for a second again. And let's look at this. Yeah, so this was, remember when I was talking about in the pre-market, this was starting to show a little exhaustion in the push down, but to complete the exhaustion, we'd have to reclaim this area, this high. And so it's not shocking that we rejected right there. For us to continue up deeply, which would be up here, he has 753 now, but I would make sure when you do that for this type of push, I would like to see it push, tap, hold, close, then take it. 631 is his kind of open the floor. So if you are one looking to take the short, and we'll ask him on the setups as well, but I would suspect it would be a break, retest, close, sweep, like that. And so let's see if we play that. Also mentor group side, remember this here? So we got a V. So that V is very bearish unless we can break through the 50% of it, which would be somewhere in here. So even if we get a push back up, if it taps anywhere in here and rejects and reclaims this, it's going to fall really far. So, but this is usually a pretty bearish setup. So if you're one that's waiting for longs, you're going to want to hold for a minute. Nice. Yeah. There's a potential, just so you know, Alton, like I said, if it stays below 631, he's been calling for a deep pull to the 534. With a pattern or structure, there's always that potential to pull back up. So somewhere around there. And still be bearish. And so it can pull all the way to like 680 and then still floor again. So just kind of be careful. But what I like to do is watch that 15 seconds. So when I say, or Neo says, I want a break and hold, I love the 15-second because I can see the break and now I can identify the hold. So if I get a break and a push with the doji, then I get a close below, that's my break and hold on that, right? So yeah, good job. Now, what I'm interested to see happen here is, you guys know all too well my thesis of that V going to the 50 is playing out. Also, this is a key level he called. When it does a sweep and a reclaim around this distance, it acts very stop hunt like. And again, it's a normal characteristic for us to go lower, for us to typically push from the V up to 50%, which would be around there. Now, what would remember, nothing in trading is 100% nothing. It's either it's validated or it's invalidated. So, and so with this, when you get the pull and the push, if we push up and we reject anywhere within here, it's likely going to drop further. However, the invalidation would be if it starts to do a structural shift, meaning we push, halfway pull, push, retest a high, test the 50, break it, and then now we hold that as support. Then it's going to invalidate and jump up really far. So the best thing I can give you guys as far as advice is learn structure, what it should do, and then when it's not doing what it should do, that means something too. You know, then you can get into to it not doing what it should do. So, but let's check with Neo and see. I think that Foundations one was throwing a short, didn't it? I wonder, did it lock it and play it out? Oh, it's doing that potential thing again. Doesn't seem like it like that one. I'll have to look at that. That's a new one that I'm playing with for the mentor group. But let's check with Neo. So looking at the market conditions, would you be leaning to take shorts, or do you think we're overextended and should we be waiting to look for the reversal? Yeah, come on, inbox. Give me money. Thanks for blocking them quickly. I went to click and it's like, do you want to unblock them? I'm like, people, it's not even people,
trying
it's
to catch
bots.
the bottom of this dumpster fire is a great way to donate your capital to the market. The structure is leaning bearish and price is sitting under VWAP, so I'd lean short, but institutional flow is currently buying, so don't expect a straight line down. I would only trust a short if price breaks and closes below the 29,675 support area with a 1-minute candle. If you're really itching for a reversal, the long only becomes worth considering after price reclaims and holds 29,692.52. Otherwise, sit tight and watch the chop.
Okay, so he does not like a long unless you get above 692.5, which is pretty good because it's going to be pretty close to that 50. So he must be reading that as well. Yeah, depending on where he's pulling it. It's a little higher, which maybe he wants a safer play. So to your point on that, where you said probably down, because it can't create the higher high. So there's a lot of microstructures we want to look at from that, how we determine that. So one, we had the open, the swing up, swing down, just a range bound, push, hold the 50, which tried to create expansion. Couldn't do it. We know why that rejected, because it was prior highs way over there. Dropped through, we lost our 50, came up, tried to hold it, couldn't do it, creates the lower expansion. And so now what I want to look for behavior wise, and we'll just mute this again, is how is it respecting the push and pull on these lower areas? And so if I get if I do just a simple fib like that, you can see we're kind of holding the 618. And so if we push, pull, hold, close above that 236 again, right, then it's going to go up. That would be our first characteristic of possible trend shift. But I agree with Neo. Anything below 692, not safe for long. So, yeah, we're still getting pretty decent absorption here too. So we want to watch this, how this is respected. If we get any buy volume here, then we can definitely see an attempt to push here. But otherwise, this would be a low push with some steam, absorption into absorption, close below the low, should sweep an equal or lower low. If it gets bought up, then we might be beginning a trend shift because it shouldn't do that structure-wise, right? And so, and look at, trying to hold this 631. So we'll watch on that. So, yeah, see the attempt there on the hold. Dun, dun, dun. Yep, see that? So we had the push, the 618 hold. We had all we really had is absorption south, absorption north. We got to close really close to below it, which should have pulled us, and it absorbed north, doji, close above, which creates expansion. Hey guys, Brian, I love that question. If you added a fourth dot, I would answer it. No, I'm just kidding. My mind goes a million miles an hour when people make statements like that. So I know that most people want the simple answer of just go to the 4 hour and tell me where it's going. First of all, if we had a crystal ball, probably wouldn't be on here. But second of all, I mean, the 4 hour doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that you're bearish. I'm not trying to determine what I'm showing you is way more powerful than go to the 4 hour and just tell me where we're going. Because the 4 hour right now isn't going to tell you shit. I'm just going to be blunt. It already says it's bearish. It's not changed. It's bearish. We have flat top all the way across the board, all the way from a pivot of a doji that lost and got to close. It's bearish. What I'm trying to determine is it going to keep going bearish? So that doesn't tell you that right now. So it tells you it's potentially, but you don't know. Y'all that get caught up looking too much on the 1 hour, 4 hour, you spend way too much time on it. So you can look at it and see we're bearish, and that's fine. But if you're going to go to a lower time frame, just because that is bearish doesn't mean it's going to fall to the floor right now. So keep in mind, when you go to a 4 hour candle, that low is 623. I could get all the way to 798 and still be bearish. It's still flat top, right? And so what I'm teaching you guys is how to go down into a lower time frame to identify the structure, the movements, and is what the 1 minute is doing complementing what that 4 hour is what the 5 minute doing complementing what the 4 hour is. Because if it was as simple as many people love to say on social medias, got my 4 hour, we're bearish, we're going to the floor, right? I mean, that would have worked really well for you here too, right? Doji, super bearish, guys, stay short, we're going to the floor. Well, not really. So remember, higher time frames is just going to take longer. It's going to be farther moves. It's going to take longer to move. They should only be used for directional context unless you have a real money account that you're going to be holding trades for months. Otherwise, I mean, for trades to play out on these high time frames, it's months. And so a lot can happen in between that. But there is a lot of potential context that you can use, meaning whether you're on a 15-second, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, I don't care, 4 hour, 6 hour, daily, weekly, candle progression is candle progression. Structure is structure. The same logic that I just showed you with the V, 50% hold or drop, it also gotcha. Yeah, if you're on a cash account, you're ready to hold this sucker for, a month or as long as you want, right? Then of course. Your concern on that, if you're a longer time, so I don't know if VR's in here. He's a position trader in here. Nope, he's not here. So I have a long-term hold position trader that's in my mentor group, and I've been talking to him a lot about that kind of stuff. And so because you have to admit, right, as a position trader or a longer-term hold trader, you're trying to say, okay, maybe you took a short up here, and you're just trying to determine, should I close this? Right? Like, are we going to go a lot lower? The answer is, of course we can. We have to, the market has to act a certain way if it's going to. So if I go to like the 6 hour, if you notice, it's doing the same context that we just outlined, where you had kind of that V, right? The push and then the equal pull. Could it just floor? I mean, of course, right? If we lose these levels, especially this level, I see now why he grabbed that 532. That's a perfect low of that one. But if we lose that 532, like, I mean, they're just you got at that point you're taking the overall structural context, and even if you just took a dang 50, right, that would pull us all the way to 771, which would be a perfect retest of the inverse head and shoulder that pushed us up in the first place, right? Very possible. So, but if you look at it, yeah, and so when you're looking at this, if you're going to take that structural V play, though, remember we just did it on the 15 second. When it pulls, it's not really complete. So we could get to the 532, but wherever it begins to pull up, right, within that doji set, which could take a few days, right? It could be the end of the week. That's when you're going to set it, look there, and expect a potential push to the 50. And if it rejects, so let's say we do drop to the 532 and I pull it to there. I would look for a potential push back to 938. If that rejects, then it's going to dump hard, right? you cracked me up, Bolton. And so, yeah, so the one thing you're going to want to try to, and I love what you said on that, right? Is you look on the higher time frames, you know, that reversal continuation. But again, by the time, if you're using only a 4-hour or a 6-hour or a daily on identifying a reversal, you might get late to the party, right? It's going to give extra confirmation for sure. You just have to wait. But the lower the time frame goes, if you want it to kind of learn that on it, is take what you know here and bring it down. And so if we are going to continue to be bearish, we got to be doing bearish things. And so you can take a higher time frame or lower time frame, and just in the context of structure, we know that we have a low, a push. We came down, we created a nice kind of lower low expansion. We got a push, came through, couldn't break the high, got a lower low expansion. So this expansion is pretty close to that expansion. So it's still doing bearish things, right? For sure. There's no doubt about that. So what I would want to see on a flip would be, even on a 5-minute, is I'd want to see something kind of hold, like maybe a sweep, absorption, and then see a push, then a 50 hold, then a push, get some expansion, a higher high, or, you know, hold of the higher high. When you start to see that stuff on the 5-15, it's going to usually relay into the 1 hour, 4 hours, 6 hours, etc. So, but keep that in mind. But yeah, as of right now, I mean, we're bearish until we're not. You know, pretty good probability we'll get to the 532, and then from there, there's about 10 different things that lined up with around 500 that we've seen that could create a pretty nasty bounce. But you know, we'll see when it gets there. So I'm not in the short. I'll just let it go. Nice. You're still holding it, Alton. Good job, man. Nice. Yeah. So Neo's thing, remember, was if we break and hold below that 31, then we would get to the 532. So zooming in, you can see his lines played out pretty well. But do you see Brian on that, and anybody else that trades like that? See how that played pretty well? So we have our V here. We got our extension from it. Then you take the push here with kind of that deeper V, right, which would be a little higher time frame, like a 1 minute, like that. And then if you take the 50, when you get that V, the high here and the low of the V, if we cannot break that, it creates a lower low. It's like damn near guaranteed. And so I know Alton's seen me do that before, so that's why I'm sure you had the confidence to jump in there. Plus I know you know how to trade. But remember, anything that happens on a low time frame structure, it's the same shit, guys. It does not matter. And I know today's been more, let me show you something, less, let's talk to Neo, but this is important because I know I do a lot more teaching than most, I think, in these open sessions, probably more than I really should, but it's important to me that you guys stay safe, and I think that it's going to get it's getting into a pretty unsafe environment where you guys, it's going to get harder, I think, before it gets easier, but, if you look at Neo's levels, leaning on him, we swept that, reclaimed that, hit that, lost that, hit that, held it, pushed, rejected, lost that, hit that. Like, and that's where I say levels matter, right? And I'll tell you, my wife, I tell some people in the mentor group, she hasn't been trading a real long time, and she doesn't really have a ton of knowledge from within, but she's watching my chart, and she's done really well. And it's so funny when we don't overcomplicate things. She had a really big day the other day, and she just got her second payout in a row, and I was asking her, I said, what are you doing? Like, are you talking to Neo? And she goes, no, I watch the level that you have, and when it breaks above it, I jump in along and then take my profit. And when it breaks below it, I drop in to take my profit. I'm like, okay. It's funny because your mind goes, it can't be that simple, but at times it really is that simple. So, and so, yeah, and so we'll get to the 532 on there. And so, but if you take also, I'll little fun facts for you guys too. I always forget where it is though. Hold on, this one here. If you take that and you take it to that, there's a good possibility when you line it up to there, or if I took that lower one, if we ignore that one, look, it's almost a perfect measure move pivot extension. So now the only way that this stays viable is with strength is if I take this pivot peak down to wherever that low that it begins to bounce, and we stay below that 50. We can bounce as much as we want, but as long as we stay below it, you get continuation. So let me look. I didn't ever see a question from you. The only thing I saw was you said hello. So no. Not sure if you asked a side question. If it got blocked, I don't know. All I see is hello. But yeah, guys, let's jump in. We'll talk to Neo again. It's 10:14, and this is the Nasdaq. So MNQ1 exclamations. What I'm doing. So, and this is Neo. He's our AI. For those who missed it or joined a little late, yet again, he called the open, but he called the open absolutely perfect today. It was spot on. So he said we would sweep this low, jump up to here, and then he gave us a couple line in the sand areas, and so people kept playing those inverse moves. But let's see. All right, we were just doing a lot of studying. And so now we're back to kind of looking at a potential opportunity here. I see we had a pretty good pull from the 631. If I wanted to enter a short, what would I want to see a rejection off of? And if I wanted to enter a long, what do we need to clear? So earlier he said to enter a long, we wanted to be above 692, and so we never got that. Let's see if he pivots. I'm not going to pivot off the Nasdaq, but you
Back to the grind.
You could always check with him.
The market is currently having a bit of an identity crisis, with institutional flow trying to buy while structure is aggressively leaning short. If you want to short, I would look for a clear rejection off that 29,590.36 institutional wall. If price can't hold that, it's just a trap waiting to happen. For the long, I would stay on the sidelines until price reclaims and holds above that 29,595.75 midpoint. If that clears, the first meaningful target is the 29,631.00 level. Just keep your risk tight because with this institutional conflict, the market is basically a coin flip until someone actually commits.
591, 641, gotcha. Got it. Any lines that I should adjust for the institutional levels? I had them listed out earlier. Let's see if any lines adjusted. I'm gonna chop block them. Yeah, so right now it's doing that retracement. So how you're gonna know if it's gonna reject again is just take the high.
Time to
and the
prune the
low.
chart.
It's got to stay below that.
Ditch the old levels and swap them for the current institutional walls. 29,590.36 is your support floor, and 29,639.93 is your resistance ceiling.
Ooh,
Since price is floating at
shifting that on the institutional wall there.
29,613.25, you're currently stuck in market purgatory, right between them. I'd pick a side and commit. Shopping around in the middle is basically just donating your hard-earned cash to the exchange.
590, 639, we'll adjust that. We'll go 40. And then 613. No, that's where the price was. Got it. Do you have any levels below 590 if we continue to reject and keep bearish that we would target? Let's see if he gives me. I think the other one was like a measure move on that. Yeah, this is that 50% I was talking about on that, Brian. You
If
can
we
see we
start
almost hit it
shedding the
perfectly.
29,590.36 institutional wall like a bad habit, the next stop is the
See.
swing low at 29,570.00. If that gives up the ghost too, the major institutional support sits down at 29,560.36. Just keep in mind that with buy pressure still hanging around 89%, chasing the downside is a bit like playing tug of war with a bull. You might win a few inches, but don't get surprised if it snaps back.
They're building quite the floor here, though, guys. I don't know. For me, I wouldn't take a short. I would let it go. I don't. They're building quite a floor. When Neo gives these levels from the institutional context, and there's like boom, 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 they start to build, and he's not giving me that extension that you had down there. It's going so. I mean, I didn't see where you called out the 626, but that one wasn't rocket science. We got the top here, and then we pulled the bottom there, and so we just smacking that 50% as well. But what I want to look for is now we want to see the shift. We have the push here and the pull. So again, I'm just teaching you guys simplistic stuff to look at. That would be your 50, push, pull, we're holding it. So what I want to see now from a larger structural standpoint, and I'm just teaching you guys how to use the ruler. It's really easy. All I care about is the 50% line on that. Now we're testing that. So any kind of hit here would validate pushing lower. But if we breach this, hold that, it's going to validate pushing higher. Why, like I said, just for me and my bias on that, I am not trusting a deeper short quite yet on this because of the way when I see Neo build a floor like this, you guys have seen this so much, and he had some crazy lines way up here. It tends to play. So let's see. Looks like the buyers are definitely coming in, so I agree with you on that buy side. It looks like a critical level they got to get over is definitely that 640 area. But would you still, if we can break and hold that 640, do you think a long would be viable to 692? I'm going to throw out just questions so you guys can see kind of how I ask the questions on that stuff.
You're reading the tape right. The bulls are trying to earn their keep. Breaking and holding that 29,639.93 resistance makes the long viable, targeting the institutional pivot at 29,690.36. If it's just a fake out and price gets rejected back under that 29,639.93 zone, that's your first warning, and losing 29,590.36 is where the long thesis officially goes to die. Just keep in mind that fighting a bearish trend is like swimming upstream. Keep that stop tight, or the market might turn you into institutional liquidity lunch.
And I don't know if this is... I'll have to look and see if that's the updated one because it's still doing that armed thing. I'll have to look at it. Good job. Yeah, just be careful. Like I said, it's still in a area that can reject really hard. Like you said, right? It's not. It's like I always tell you guys, we're bullish until we're not. We're bearish until we're not. But what I teach you guys in the way that I look at the market, I don't want to create a bearish or bullish bias that is untouchable. And so the meaning, if you are constantly like, I'm bearish, we're going to drop, here we go, we're dropping, we're bearish, we're bearish, we're bearish, you're going to miss signs. And so I'm always a big fan. If I'm going to be bearish, it needs to do bearish things. And so you can see we just rejected right off his 640 that he gave us, which is fine for bearish things. If I take a high of the pivot and I take a low of the pivot, you can see it's also right around our 50% of that. Right? And so, and when we look at this 50%, for me to not continue to be bearish, I want to see that break and hold. But how can I see that earlier? Well, I can see it earlier by how this price is reacting. Currently, we had a low, a push, a halfway hold with a push with expansion. Buy it, weak expansion, but still expansion. Now, this one is interesting. This is where I use fib retracement too, because when you pull here, you can see if you pull pivot to pivot, it's past the 50. So if I get past it, a lot of times I want to grab the bottom and the top here and see, well, it bounced on the 618, which is right. So I want to see if it's beginning to build the structure, because if I'm just bearish, like you mentioned on that, Alton, at some point, guys, what is bearish is going to flip bullish, and what is bullish is going to flip bearish. And the one thing I know, the only thing I can tell you in trading is that most traders love their bias, and they're gonna ride or die with it. and so, uh, and so, but yeah. So again, you always want to be studying. You always want to be studying. The market is doing certain things with intent, and you should always be studying. So, yeah, but so watch this. We'll see, guys. It's 7:23. Still got a little time, so I'll stick around. Yeah, we'll stick around for a bit. That makes me laugh a little bit when you said that, because anybody else hear the fun phrase of the trend is your friend? You should always be on the trend. Well, the trend is your friend until it isn't, because guess what? Every trend comes to an end. And the hardest part is a lot of the books and the teachings, they teach you how to identify a trend, but not a lot of them teach you how to identify when the trend is collapsing, when it's breaking. And so that is the harder part.
True.
That is the harder part. So let me look and see. Yeah, see this? So as we're pushing through, and I'm not leaning a lot on Neo, guys, because we kind of feel like giving a little extra sauce today for you guys. But we want to look and just see how it's reacting. So again, push, 50 hold, push, hit that 618, got the close above, expansion. How this expansion handles it is important. So we have an absorption down, but it's trying to hold on that 40. If it holds the 40, we're going to jump pretty hard. But if it breaks through the 40, as long as we stay above here, which is 33, then we're going to jump again. So, but again, just trying to identify when is it flipping bearish, when is it flipping bullish, right? Pretty cool, huh? I'll tend to see it play out like that. Whether it holds or not, we'll see. But the 692 was the original Neo kind of line in the sand for that long, you know. And so anything that we stay below that, remember, from the larger time frame pivot, it's still bearish. But and I know that may confuse some of you, but I'm going to shock you with some information. People always go, wow, you trade on the 15-second? Guys, this is what people trade like most of the time. If you trade on the 15-second like this, yes, it will drive you batshit crazy. But I'm going to tell you an interesting thing, guys. This is looking at the 15-second. This is likely a structure of the 1 minute. This is likely my 5-minute structure. This is my 15-minute structure. This is my 1 hour structure. I don't have to flip through all the time frames to see it. I can do it all in the 15-second. I can just see what the structure is, right? And so I know it's shocking, but people get too caught up on the let me pick the time frame. You should never trade on this time frame. You should always trade on this time frame. I'm gonna be the one that
trade. I gotta have 500 screens to trade.
Yeah, I got a 500. You gotta be an economist of 500 screens. It's not true. And anybody that says now, my caveat to that is some of y'all are not good at filtering noise. Some of y'all are not good at being able to look at this and just measure pivots, distances, ranges, highs, lows, structure from within. You get too caught up on the wiggle, right? The wiggle in the middle. And if that is the case, then yes, you need to go to a higher time frame to minimize that, right? So you see how the higher time frame gets rid of all the noise. If you don't like the noise, but I highly encourage you, I know it's frustrating and difficult at times to get to know the noise because it all matters. It makes a difference. But I love how, isn't that cool though, Alton, how I was telling you, I mean, we could just come back down. I don't know. We'll have to see how this continues to hold strength wise. But I've traded with Neo long enough to know. Yeah, so look at we're holding the 236. I mean, if it pushes here, gets expansion, that's strength, guys, because that's a 236 hold. Not didn't even get to the 382 yet, but it's not done yet. But when he clusters them like that and just refuses to give me a lower, even if I don't take the long on that, I damn sure I'm not gonna take the short because I've seen him do that so much. I mean, just look at it like this. You know, you got your right. I mean, you don't want to short into to the bottom there, but for us to really push to here or back to here, I think is very possible. I would feel better if it continued to do things. So right now it's showing strength in the push, but we could come all the way back. Isn't that wild, guys, in the mentor group, how that lines up so much? I don't know if you play with that much, Johnny, when I was showing you that before. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm big playing with it.
It's kind of fun.
So
yeah, it's kind of cool. Um, let's look, and then again, remember, I'm always studying. I'm gonna do this last little one, guys. Then I'm gonna go through a little view of what Neo is, all that. And if you guys have questions, go for it. And then we trade with the afternoon group after. If you want to multi-time frame it, again, we measured 15-second progression to identify the push. As it pushes, we took the next one, which would likely be the 1 minute, to see if we broke the 50, which we did, structurally supporting the push. Now that we push through that, I want to see where the next resistance. I scroll out to what would be the next time frame, and I'm going to grab that pivot from there to there, and you can see that's right where we're rejecting. So if we get a little higher and then hold this, it's going to likely jump, on that. So yeah, and so that's what we were just talking about. There's an interesting thing that I teach on that, but yeah, you can see if you take the high and the low, that would be almost a perfect 50 retest. And that's to your point. You've seen that on that good, Brian, because if it push, hold, push, right? We got the pull. Now this one, remember, you can almost arguably, because I like to keep the context the same, call this that V. Remember what I said though? A V has to create that lower low on the initial. It didn't. It created a higher low. So we pushed back. If it doesn't, if it creates the higher low, that's fine, but you got to at least reject on the 50 and see how it tried to respect it. The V push. See right here, rejected, pushed up, swept, rejected, pushed up, rejected, and it wasn't until we closed above it that it took off, because now it's a invalidation, not validation. Isn't it cool, Alton? I'll tell you, Alton, what you should see what I'm building for the mentor group on it, and I think I broke it again, so I got to fix it. That's why I haven't really showed it. But I basically took all of what I teach and put it in a nutshell and set it up like this, where it's going to tell them when to go long, when to go short, where the TP is, how to trail it. Like it's going to be stupid easy when I'm done with it. Give you the bias, all that. Like it's pretty cool. But that one's only going to be available for mentor and VIP on that. And so, but yeah, the 692 is going to be a big one on that. But let me I'm going to pull them aside, guys. We are at 10:30. I typically stick to my commitment of staying on the social medias until 11. So at 11, I pivot over to my afternoon session. So my afternoon session is with my mentor VIP, and it's where I go even deeper to all the things that I just showed you. And so when you go to the website, I'm going to do another screen here. It's going to look like this. When you come in, you'll make, if you, make an account and such, you'll land on start here. Nextstepalgo.com is our website. It's a company myself and 2 friends founded. And when you're in here, just kind of browse through the left pane. There are tiles here that are clickable as far as what we do. If you want to play with your own Neo, you can do a free 3-day trial on it. No credit card attachment, no. Yeah, me and my 2 buddies created it. And you don't have to attach a credit card, nothing. It doesn't even go through Stripe, guys. Literally, you just click free trial. I think we ask you to subscribe on our YouTube, and then it unlocks. So we want everybody to try Neo because he is unlike any AI you probably have seen. And I can confidently say that now because I've had so many people that are making AIs that are still using AI or Neo. And a good amount of them are using Neo to confirm their AI. So as they're building theirs, it's like, you're saying go long. Hey Neo, mine's saying go long. Is this good? Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going long. And some people are really cool. They'll ask me. They're like, I'm kind of building my own thing. Do you care if I kind of use yours to validate mine? I don't care what y'all do with it. I just want you all to win. That's it. Whatever you guys got to do to win on it. But he's all web-based. He's on commercial servers. I didn't make him on Claude. I'm not the AI guy. Super transparent about that. I'm the trader. I'm the visionary of user experience, how to implement him, all that. But I did not build him AI-wise. He is not like anyone that you've seen because he's not built through Codex or Claude. He's built from a friend of mine who's been a friend for 30 years that has been a programmer for about 30 years. And so he hard codes everything with what he does. And he does some crazy creative stuff, which is why I laugh because I have a few people message me on TikTok like, dang, man, just being honest, I got Neo and I've been trying to do my own AI and I've been trying to like mimic what Neo's doing. And I'm like, how did you do this? Or how do you do that? And I'm going to tell you guys as bluntly as I become with it that I'm not going to tell you. So, right? I mean, why would I tell you? And so we did something very difficult, myself and Alex and Paul and so why would I tell you, right? And so yes, and so Heather, on that, he will tell you anything you want to know. So if you guys, since we have 30 minutes left, guys, I'm covering my chart because I'm done. I mean, I'm gonna trade again in the afternoon. Y'all, we caught like 5 really good moves, including the opening one, on that. And so if you guys have a question for Neo, also those in the Google Meet, I do see you guys dropping off here soon. If you got to go, you got to go, but stick around for a little bit because I'm going to talk about autopilot. Neo will be trading for people very, very soon. He's actually already kind of doing it. And so you can see on the autopilot, right, we already got, dashboard stuff we're working on. We're already linking through, waiting for Alex to set up the next testing phase that we do. But yeah, with Neo, if you guys want to ask questions to Neo before you go in and sign up or whatever, just drop a comment in the TikTok or the Google Meet, and I can copy and paste it in there. So
Hey,
I
Nick,
am gonna
I'm
let him
locked,
know.
loaded, and ready to see if the market wants to play nice today. What are we hunting?
We are actually done, man. It was a great day. You called the open. All the levels worked out well. I know it's gonna get a little choppy here, so we're gonna get into our afternoon session later, but the open session that I do, we're going to conclude the trading likely, but a lot of people don't really know what you can do to help them. So I'm going to relay some questions over to you if you can play nice and help answer them. So I'm going to let him know what he's going to do. So that way, again, he's true AI, guys. It's not prompted, so he's gonna
Glad the levels
respond how he
behaved
wants.
today. It's always nice when the market decides to actually cooperate for once. I'm ready when you are. Send the questions my way, and I promise to keep the roasting to a minimum, unless the setups are truly horrific. Let's see what the community has on their minds.
All right, let's see. And I do not know what he's going to say, so. Oh, I should have tied it to you on yours, Heather, but let's see.
I definitely do. My job isn't just to point at a chart and say, buy here, or sell there. That would be like giving you a fish instead of teaching you how to fish.
Hey, you
And
stole my
honestly,
line,
you
jerk.
probably just end up feeding the sharks. I break down the why by looking at the market structure, liquidity zones, order flow, and trap risk behind every setup. If you understand the reasoning, why a specific level is important or why price action is confirming a move, you can eventually make those calls yourself without needing me to hold your hand. I'm here to help you understand the mechanics so you can build your own confidence, not just follow commands.
There you go. And again, if you guys have questions, drop them in. I'll do this for about 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about autopilot, which is the Neo's going to trade for you guys. So I know many of you guys have been waiting for that. But if you have questions, you can drop them. I'm going to give you a couple examples. Also, some people want to know, as they come in and they're very new, can you help them learn and grow? And do they have the ability to ask questions if they don't understand something? I'm just going to continue to ask them questions until I see some from you. Or you could just go in and do your own free trial.
Absolutely. Think of me as your market translator. Trading is hard enough without me talking in riddles, so if I say something that sounds like nonsense, just hit me with a, wait, what does that mean? I'm here to help you get the why behind the move, not just guess which way the line goes. Fire away. The only stupid question is the one that costs you money because you didn't ask it.
There you go. The other question I tend to get, and I love it, guys. We're going to post them pretty soon, but we take surveys of people that do the trial. We've not really had any, I don't think any negative ones. I think the lowest we got was average. At times on the feedback, we get responses where they say they want more training on Neo. You know, it's only a couple here and there, but or they want something to show how to ask them questions. I reiterate this quite a bit, and I want to make sure you guys all know, is you can ask him that. So if I say, if somebody doesn't know what to ask you, what should they ask you? Or you can go in and say, I don't know what to ask you. What should I ask you? What's the best questions you get? What's the worst questions you get,
Tell
right?
them
So we're
to
going to play
stop
around with
acting
it.
like market donations are tax deductible. Seriously, the best questions are the ones that save their account before they even place a trade. They should be asking about what confirmation actually looks like versus just clicking buttons when it feels right. They should also ask how to spot a trap versus a breakout, how to handle risk when a trade goes sideways, and how to tell the difference between market structure and random noise. If they can ask those, they're already ahead of 90% of the people who think trading is just gambling with a nicer chart. What are they stuck on right now?
Right now we're just using hypothetical questions from TikTok as well. We're not actually actively trading, but I'll continue to send questions your way. I appreciate it, Randy. And I'm going to show you, Brandy, on
Keep
it
the
real
TikTok
quick.
secret strategy hypotheticals coming. I need the entertainment, and honestly, testing viral theories against actual structure is the best way to see which ones are worth a damn and which ones are just fairy tales. Just bring me the trigger and the invalidation levels their video claims work, and we'll see if the market actually respects their logic. What's the latest can't miss setup they're peddling today?
So I'm going to post in your question here, and I have a feeling he's going to tell you, I don't trade anything for you, but let's see. I got to put your names on there, and then I'm going to show you, Brandy, on that. And this is why I
absolutely
do this.
Break down the structure, liquidity, and order flow for stocks, crypto, and Forex, as long as the platform feeds me the data. I don't care if it's Bitcoin, Apple, or the Euro. If the chart is moving, we can hunt for setups together. Just pull up the symbol you're looking at, and we'll see if the market is actually offering a trade or just wasting our time.
So currently we don't do Forex on that. He can interpret the structure for you if you, remember, if there's something you want to do, like even Forex. If you tell him, hey, I'm seeing here, here's my prices, here's my levels, he has memory. Can you remember this level, that level? I got this structure. He's just, you're going to be teaching, kind of like leading a blind person, right? He can't see. But we do crypto. If you scroll down, you got futures, all the future symbols we support, all the option symbols, stocks, and crypto on there. So we do have that. Now, on the ask better questions, right? I want to, I'm going to copy what you said, and I'm going to put it in there. We'll put you on the spot. Let's see what he says here.
Better questions? Music to my ears. Honestly, half the battle in trading is realizing that, is it going up? Is a terrible question. Markets don't care about our hopes. They care about who's trapped. Ask me what kills the trade, the invalidation level, before you ask where the target is. Ask me what actually confirms the move instead of guessing. If you frame your questions around where a setup fails rather than where you want it to go, you'll save your account way faster. Market's messy right now. MNQ is fighting bearish 5-minute structure while showing some buy pressure. So this is the perfect time to practice asking about trap risk or what confirmation level we actually need to see. What's the first thing you're looking at on that chart?
So notice also others and as well as for you, Brandy, on that. Yeah, we're trying. Just to pivot on that, the 50 was somewhere there. Now, if it breaks the 50, it's okay. I'm just gonna show you guys. If I pull that same pivot, the 618, that's where the fibs come in. So if we break the 50, hit the 618, reclaim the 50 and the 382, that'll give you your deep propulsion. But if it hits the 618, rejects the 50, loses that, then it's gonna all collapse. So kind of watch that. But and that's the biggest thing. So keep in mind, guys, with Neo, he is not just a signal AI or signal bot. He is going to answer things as they come in, but he does have in his logic to become mentor Neo. And so notice how he wanted to take what you said, answer it, and he's pivoting in. What's the first thing you're looking at the chart? And you can say things like, thanks for that. You can say things like, ugh, I'm starting to see this pull. If this pull was a trap, right? Like let's just do that. So as an example, I was telling people how you can use real-time data for education. And so as price is trying to pull back here, what would we want to see if it's a bear trap that would flip bullish? So see, I can ask him, price is pulling back. Is this a trap? Or what would I need to see for it to be a trap? Or what would I need to see for it to be a continuation, right?
Brandy,
you can ask him
if the market is baiting the bears here, it's currently flirting with that 29,592.46 institutional support wall. For a short trap that actually flips us bull, I need to see price poke below that level to hunt the stops, then reject and immediately reclaim back above 29,631.00. I'd want that 1-minute candle to close back inside the zone to prove the sellers are officially trapped. If it just wicks through and fails to hold that reclaim, it's not a trap, it's just a breakdown.
All right, so there you go. And then you can say, if somebody tends to like to be a breakout trader, but they like, or at times they get trapped trying to do breakouts, but then the market oscillates. In your development stuff, can you teach them how to identify the consolidation versus breakouts, or maybe let them know, is it a good day to do breakout trading? He might still think you're talking to you, right? Because I quoted you at the end there. But let's see. I'm just giving you guys examples of thoughts, things you can do, things you can talk to him about.
Brandy, being a breakout trader on a chop day is like trying to date a cactus. You're just going to get hurt repeatedly for no reason. Right now, MNQ is stuck in a classic don't touch me phase, trapped between the institutional resistance at 29,643.45 and the primary gamma support at 29,593.45. If you try to break out trade in the middle of that range, the market will just eat your stops for lunch. To spot the difference, consolidation looks like price painting a mustache on the chart with overlapping candles and going nowhere. A real breakout day happens when price actually leaves the building with conviction and holds the other side. Today is the latter's evil twin, unless you see a confirmed breakdown below 29,593.45 or a reclaim of 29,643.45 with actual candle body acceptance. Stop forcing entries in the middle. The best breakout is usually just having the discipline to sit on your hands until the market stops being indecisive.
Yeah, but what should people do if they get bored? I'll start even taunting him sometimes. But you see what I mean?
I get it. Staring at a screen waiting for a candle to move is like watching paint dry in slow motion. But in trading, bored usually just
Slow
means you're
motion.
actually winning the battle against your own impatience. Right now, MNQ is grinding near that 29,593.45 gamma support, and trying to force a scalp in this mess is how you turn bored into growth. Use that nervous energy to watch how it treats that level. If it breaks and fails to reclaim, the short path opens, but don't just click buttons because you want to feel something other than boredom.
And so keep in mind, guys, you can ask him whatever you want, and he will tell you. He will help you. So if you say, I actually tell people when you go in and talk to him for the first time, always tell him, introduce yourself like you would me or anybody else you're talking to, right? How long you've been trading, what your strategy is, what you look for, how you look for trades, what is your things you get stuck on, what's some emotions that you deal with. He's going to remember that. He's building memory on you. And so that will modify him to, you know, kind of mold with you on your development and such. And so, but yeah, if you don't know what to ask him, just tell him you don't know what to ask him. So as we get close to 11, I want to show you also a couple things, guys. We're going to have a little bit of fun. Just for fun, now that we're done with most of the questions of TikTok, can you do your best impression of a retail trader that ends up trading during boredom? Let's put on your acting face here. When he does these, sometimes it's really fun. I'll tell you 1 second on that. God first. Love the name too. Adam, what's up, Adam? I'll answer that too. Let him talk and then we'll.
All right, Brandy, let's do the I need to feel alive trade.
He's still on Brandy.
This. MNQ has been chopping around 29,613.00 for 10 minutes. The trader's eyes are glazing over. Internal monologue. My strategy says wait for a reclaim of 29,643.45, but that's like waiting for the heat death of the universe. I'm a trader. I have to trade. Action. Clicks a random scalp in the middle of the range. 2 minutes later. Oh, I got stopped out by 4 points? That's obviously market manipulation. The algorithm is definitely watching my screen. I need to size up on the next one to win my money back. And just like that, boredom turned a calm morning into a how do I recover session. MMQ is currently grinding inside a bearish structure. Please, don't be the person who tries to force a breakout in the middle of nowhere.
That didn't sound like any of you guys, right? Like, you guys would never do that. On that. So, the where to get your Neo, guys, nextstepalgo.com. If you're on TikTok, my link is, and the website is on the bio also. But yeah, it's just nextstepalgo.com. And then TradeVision is what I'm talking to. So Neo is across our whole site. But TradeVision is the brains, the hubs, all that. Keep in mind, guys, we are building a lot of shit in a very fast time. And so, Adam, just to touch on your question on that. So the basic is $100 a month, and then with the coupon, and then the pro is $250 on that. And then you kind of look at the web and you can see the differences. But we're building a lot of shit in a very short amount of time, prospectively. And we have a lot more on the way. And so we're going to continue to be building. Things are going to get better consistently, because those that have been around for a while, you guys can vouch for it, that every time we come up with something cool, we come up with something better. And so it's not going to change. Until I can figure out a magic way to shut my mind off, it's just not going to stop. I'm going to still call Alex and say, I have an idea. Let's do this. We are in a little bit of a pivotal project prioritization, guys, and I'll explain on that. We're working on 3 things right now, primarily. And that is Neo Autopilot, Neo Watchlist, and y'all don't have this, but this is Support Neo that I'm working on. Those 3 things are kind of final pieces to that bigger puzzle that we're working through. And so what do all those mean? So Support Neo, when I'm done with him, will be your not only support, he's going to be, Neo will be able to help guide you, onboard you on where to go on the site, what to click, what are you looking for. You can tell him, hey, I'm new, or I've been trading forever and I just want this or that, or do you guys offer whatever? And he's going to guide you through the site. I also want, and this is the more difficult part I'm struggling with, him to actually onboard you. Sounds great. Do you have a trading view? We recommend trading view. If you don't, make sure you have a trading platform. Do you need help setting up your trading view? Do you understand how to put a symbol? Do you understand how to change your time frames? I want him to make sure he's your onboarding agent that is going to allow you to have the tools and see where they are. And so I got really far into this project and hit a little bit of a roadblock on a few things, and so that's why we haven't released it. But this is really close to release. I'm just not thrilled about a few things that I got to fix. The other thing that we're working on, and I'll leave the autopilot for last, is watch list. Watch list is going to be really sick. It's going to be when you're trading and you're on TradeVision asking him things, the watch list is going to be like a notification, if you will, part of Neo. Meaning, currently on TradeVision, if I want to know something, I ask a question, he gives me the answer. I ask a question, he gives me the answer. He's not looking for data unless you ask him a question to look for the data. Watch list is not going to be that. It's going to be an actual fetch of data. So every so many seconds or minute, however we set that to, he will be grabbing data. And so the vision of this is, if I want to trade NASDAQ and I'm sitting here, and we'll just throw out a hypothetical, and I'm trading. We got that fail on the, I want to see where this failed. Let's look and see. So when we pulled, this was there. And so we got that kind of 50 pull. We lost the 618 like we talked about, came through, lost the 786. So it's normal expansion from it. Now it's testing that low, the 560. Curious if he has anything below it now. But I want to make it to where if I'm trading NASDAQ and I'm just asking questions, I want to set up where if I want to trade gold, silver, crude, ES, whatever, cryptos, any ones that you want to get alerts through that we set up within, the parameters, you'll be trading NASDAQ and all of a sudden you'll get a notification wherever we decide to put it that will say crude oil's in a great buy opportunity. Check it out. And then you can flip to it. I also, if I get it the way I want it to notify you about news things like, Trump threw out a tweet, this new breaking news on this, going on in the Middle East. Like, it's going to be an actual pull to feed you with the data that you need to stay in the now. That's where watch list is going to come into play. And so definitely getting that little pull. And so that all has been a bigger plan. All of what we've created Neo for is for him to trade. Everything we've done up to this point. Teaching him, how to guide people, how to be a mentor, how to learn to execute trades and validate. All that stuff is leading up to him trading for you guys. That's the plan. That's always been the plan. And so where my project prioritization becomes fun is I'm almost done with this and I want to finish it really bad because it'll help a lot of people. We're pretty far into this, but not quite as far as that. But Alex gave us the green light to begin to set up testing accounts. So you can see, we just have a demo on it. And so he doesn't have it on. That's why he's not looking for trades right now. We're only turning it on during testing periods for now. And so he's actually executing trades to trade evades. And so you see where my dilemma goes. Because now, once Paul and Alex finished that and he begins executing trades, now it goes into my hands, right? Where I want to really scrutinize his trades, his risk management. When is he entering? When is he exiting? What's his risk management? How well is he doing? Is there something I can adjust? That's where a lot of that deeper stuff comes. Now, he's been trading in a simulated environment, but there's a difference between a simulation of here's where I would long, here's my target versus, push the button. You guys all know that. I mean, look at how many of you I know AI is different, but how many of you go in and do well in a sim and then you get wrecked, right? When you go into the real. So, but this is really exciting. And so I'm going to probably be pivoting a little from support and watch list and just heavily focusing on this, because this is going to be what's going to change people's lives once we get him. I mean, you guys have seen how well he does on his calls, right? Getting that out is going to be huge. So a lot more to come, guys. You're going to want to stick around. If you guys ever have any questions on TikTok, you guys can always DM me, or through there. I do answer my DMs. But a lot to come through. So the one thing I didn't touch on, which I don't know, most of you I think know, but those of you who are new, our trading courses even have Neo, guys. So we have all our trading courses through. This one should be done here pretty soon, but you just click on any of the courses. When you're in, our courses are legit. You can see a lot of chapters. It's like an ebook basically. It's not a video I'm going to send you to. You can open it.
Lesson 7.
Guess who teaches? Guess who teaches it to you?
1. Introduction.
Neo. But the beauty of our courses is I can ask Neo questions. This is why I said Neo's the website. He's across the website. See, I can come in here and say, I'm on this volume is cluster based, not distributed. I'm not really grasping what that means. Can you explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old? I love the 5-year-old. Like, I always think of the show, Are You Smarter Than a 5-Year-Old? Oh, that's where I got that.
Think of it like how people act in a crowded mall. In a normal store, like the ES, which is spread out smoothly, you might find the same number of shoppers in every aisle all day long. It's very steady and predictable. But the NQ acts like a store having a flash sale. Instead of people wandering around everywhere, they all suddenly rush to one specific spot to grab a deal. That's the cluster.
Thanks.
It might be a specific rack, a price level where there is a liquidity pool or a sweep. Then, once the sale is over or they've grabbed what they need, everyone clears out instantly. The aisles become totally empty. That's the volume dropping to near zero. So, cluster-based just means that in the NQ, trading activity isn't spread out evenly like a slow walk through a mall. Instead, it happens in quick, intense bursts at very specific spots, with quiet pauses in between. Does that help you picture why the volume clusters, instead of staying smooth, or would you like to see how that creates those empty spaces between the clusters?
And so again, you can always ask him as many questions as you want. And if, he gets long-winded, you can stop it. You can mute him, all that. You can even ask him, that makes sense. How could not knowing how to identify that get me wrecked when I trade? And again, it's Neo. You can ask him whatever you want. So, and this is included in all of our training.
That's a great question. When you don't realize that volume is cluster-based, you tend to view the market through a retail lens, which often leads to the exact traps the algorithms are designed to set. Here is how misreading those clusters usually gets a trader wrecked. You trade the empty spaces. If you expect volume to be smooth, you might see a quiet, low volume area and think.
So I'm going to stop that. You guys kind of get the idea on that. I'll show you guys really quick on the differences of the plans. But again, all of our training, you can ask Neo. I mean, how many training courses do you have a 24/7 AI that you can ask questions? And as many as you want. We actually encourage you to ask as many as you want. So when you come into TradeVision, again, if you scroll down, or when you first get to the site, if you don't have it, you'll see these things. When we first created him, we only intended on making TradeVision one subscription base, and that was it. The TradeVision Pro, we did $250 a month, which, if you're in the trading industry, you know that's a steal for it, because he's calling your levels, signal calling, trade management, and he can teach you guys all the way from beginner what a candle is to institutional, hunting liquidity and setups and strategies. And so that's a steal for that. But it's important to me always to give a lower opportunity for people to get in to still use him, but not spend too much, to get you started. And so with that said, anything I create from now to the end of time, as long as I'm running it, is I will never dilute what I do logic-wise just because it's cheaper. So it doesn't matter if you're using Pro or Basic. It runs through the exact same logic. It runs through the institutional context. It runs through everything. It's no difference. whatsoever. No matter if it seems or not, it's not different. I promise you, from a back end perspective. So the reason of that is, like I said, I just want you all to win. I want the industry to do better. And if I'm out here saying that, but then I go, pay me more and I'll make it better, kind of contradicts it. So we had a choice. Either we make it less logic wise, or we make it less of what you get wise. So if you click on view and compare, if you're on basic, you get futures, all of them. We didn't want to limit it to one either. You get all of them. We did that one primarily because most people in the community trade prop firms, which is futures. And so you get any future symbols you want. So even on basic, you can do all of these, NQ all the way to, the Russell. And you have options, stocks, and crypto that are only available on Pro. So again, the logic doesn't change, but you cannot do options, stock, and crypto while on basic, which I think is a fair exchange. We do enhanced languages. We call it enhanced languages because Neo can speak whatever language you want. We were laughing one day. We had him speaking Pig Latin. It was kind of funny. But the pronunciations are pretty terrible if you're a Spanish speaker or otherwise. But when we did the enhanced language, I'm told it's spot on, because you get the actual accent and everything within it. Yeah, exactly. And then the response modes, you get quick, which I'm gonna tell you guys right now, quick is what I've been on all morning. Quick is plenty for trading. It's not gonna dilute anything. The reason we love normal and detailed is for development, education. If you just really want, like give me a full market breakdown summary before the market opens. I want to know everything, right? Then you'd put it on detailed. And then personalities. So you get beginner and you get friendly. You don't get the fun ones. So I have been on funny all day. I love funny because trading is always stressful anyways, and so I like to break up that a little bit with a laugh every now and then. But with the pro, you get all these personalities. With this one, you get those. So that's kind of our trade-off. So the basic is $100 a month with the coupon right now. We chose that price because we did an early launch price at $50, so a lot of people got in on that. But the $100, I feel like it's a fair trade-off. If you're going to spend $100 on 6 evals in a day to try to pass it, and you just keep breaking them, to do $100 in a month is a fair trade. So the coupon is going to be on this site. We have multiple places. So if you go to the deals tab here, these are all our coupons. And so you can see it's Neo Vision. If you go to TradeVision for the first time, there'll be a big old banner across it also. So, but yeah, that's the plan, guys. And I'll tell you, whatever price that you guys pay, I've already said this a few times and I will keep committing to it, is, yeah, for the basic, it's $100 a month. And then, but the prices are never going to raise. I'm not, how many times do you guys get these updates where, I just got one for, I think it was Netflix or somewhere, where they tell you starting this month the prices are all going up, right? So inflation. We're not going to raise. If you're locked in at a price, you're locked in at the price. So until you cancel. You cancel, then it's free game. My final thing, and then it is 11 o'clock. I have to go because I got to respect VIP and mentor. I trade in the afternoon, 11 till 1 is what I commit to. I'll go past if I don't have any meetings and we're doing a lot of education. But I don't like to go too deep into 11, so I can only answer so many more questions. But it's with the VIP and the mentor. So I do mentor people. I will tell you that mentorship program has just this is pretty close. I think we have 3, maybe 4. I have to look and see. So, yeah, no. So TradeVision does not include trading in the afternoon now. That is only going to be for VIP and mentor, because I do a lot of deeper educational stuff, and I also give out extra tools that are just exclusive for them as well. But I do mentoring, so if you're interested, it doesn't cost you anything to reach out. You can't even subscribe. You have to click it, and I'll email you, and then we'll set up a time to meet. Once this gets to 50, I won't take anymore. You're going to see a waiting list here pretty soon. the VIP is the pass that we give to people that want all access. So we create indicators, Neo, Autopilot. Autopilot will have its own subscription. Watchlist will have its own subscription. When you're VIP, you get it all. You get current and future. So anything we create in the future, you will automatically have access. You're just locked in. So that includes Autopilot. You know, you'll have that free access to trade whatever volume you want. There's no additional subscriptions. You get all the indicators, all the stuff. So I will tell you, just in transparency, this price, the price is not going to go up. The coupon is going to get reduced at the end of this month. I know that for sure. We've already talked about it. So, but I got to run, guys. Check out the so you don't get confused on that. God first is TradeVision doesn't connect to anything. So I didn't do it intentionally, but people get confused of TradeVision, TradingView, TradeVision, TradingView, and so I know they're similar, but he has his own data. So when you go into load him like this, I'll show this one last thing, and then we got to run.
Hey Nick, ready to roll. The MNQ.
I'll mute him. You just click the symbol and then choose the symbol you want to choose. So if I want to trade, you know, Tesla, I would click Tesla, and then now that will match up with your Tesla chart on that. And so he already has his own data. You're not connecting anything. There's no settings. There's no connecting. You could literally, people do this from their cell phone. It's fun a lot of times. So, but guys, I gotta run again. Tuesday nights I don't typically go live on Asia because Tuesday's kind of my day where I have to catch up on projects. I do go live Asia Wednesday and Thursday, so if interested. I'm live every morning, Monday through Friday. So I'm gonna drop off of the YouTube, and I totally didn't bring up the YouTube comments. So if you were asking questions in there, I apologize. I did not.